Ridwan Taghi, the name that triggered a fear tsunami among the largest drug lords in the Netherlands. But this man was different, someone that even Taghi was hesitant to cross. This is the story of an individual who learned to trade from a master. Together, they were making millions until they encountered one of the most dangerous and ruthless figures in the Dutch criminal underworld. A tale filled with pandemonium and suspense. This is the story of Taghi's worst enemy, Mustapha L.F. Mustapha is known by the nicknames Amateurbald, Moose, and Moose No Limit. He was born in 1975 in Nador, Morocco. Mustapha and his family moved to Amherst Fort in the Netherlands as an adolescent. He rose to prominence as a thief in his early 20s before moving on to cocaine smuggling. Through mutual contacts, he met Amsterdam's Samir Scarface Oyakrishan, a former burglar turned drug empire builder. Mustapha's constant pursuit of possibilities and riches earned him the Amotor. He swiftly adjusted to Scarface's expanding operations, which included larger and more frequent supplies of illegal products. His commitment and ambition were unrivaled. Mustapha was incarcerated from 2006 to 2009 when he met Roger P., aka Pete Costa. They formed a business partnership after their release, with Pete concentrating in logistics. Their efforts resulted in the shipment of large amounts of cocaine into Europe, with Pete's worldwide excursions playing an important part. The Dutch criminal underworld suffered substantial upheaval in 2014, with the fall of several key individuals. Even after Scarface's death, Mustapha had grown into his own, carrying on their illegal businesses. To legalize his money, he opened a nightclub called No Limit in Ziltermeer, Netherlands, which became a hotspot for criminal activity. However, trouble brewed as a feud ignited between Mustapha and Ridwan Taghi in early 2016. The exact cause of this conflict remains unclear, but its severity was evident when Dutch authorities discovered surveillance equipment and a laptop linked to Taghi's circle. This discovery triggered suspicions of foul play, leading to an escalating conflict between the two factions. Both sides aggressively pursued each other, and tensions reached a boiling point. The situation intensified with the use of encrypted communication devices, revealing the extent of the turmoil. In April 2016, Taghi's organization aimed to silence Mustapha, focusing on his nightclub, No Limit. They communicated their intentions through encrypted messages, with Ridwan Taghi instructing his trusted hitman, Harold P., to conduct the operation meticulously. On April 16, 2016, the time had come for action. Morad Taghi was scouting around Moose's club No Limit, accompanied by spotters strategically placed in different locations. He maintained direct communication with Harold, sending him texts to update him that there was still no sign of Moose. Harold, situated elsewhere, remained in touch with the operatives on standby while hours slowly ticked away. The mission had to be postponed as the hours passed with no sign of Moose. The following day, they attempted the same plan once again. However, frustration grew for Ridwan Taghi, who eagerly awaited news of his enemy's elimination. Ridwan messaged Harold, expressing dissatisfaction with the situation. He questioned the competence of the operatives and their complaints about the daylight. Ridwan's frustration was palpable, and he urged Harold to either get the job done or admit if they were unwilling to proceed. The operatives had concerns about the daylight, which added risk to the task. Nonetheless, Ridwan persisted and urged Harold to ensure the mission was completed that day. Harold reassured Ridwan that he would take charge and carry out the task, regardless of the bright conditions. This assurance relieved Ridwan as his most trusted hitman took responsibility. Despite the reassurances, time continued to pass and dawn was approaching. Moose's club was located near a busy roundabout and a highway. The risk of getting caught in the morning rush hour traffic was a concern, and the pressure was mounting. At 6:26 in the morning, Harold texted Ridwan, informing him that they were still on site but had not yet achieved their objective. The urgency was clear. They couldn't afford further delays, as it was confirmed that Moose was inside the club. About an hour later, Harold had to deliver disappointing news to Ridwan. The presence of numerous law enforcement officers and security personnel made the situation too risky to proceed. They had to leave the scene, leaving Ridwan disappointed. It was uncertain whether Moose was aware of the danger he narrowly escaped. Despite the setback, Ridwan Taghi's determination to bring down Moose was evident. A few days later, Ridwan acknowledged their failure in eliminating Moose. The message was sent to Harold, who responded with a promise to investigate another potential target. The tension remained high as they continued their pursuit. In a matter of days, their attention shifted to Samir Aragib, a new target. Moose had managed to evade capture and had fled to Morocco. However, the relentless pressure of Ridwan Taghi remained a constant threat. In April 2016, Pete established a new smuggling route from Costa Rica. The process typically involved testing the route with a small shipment to gauge its success. This time, the stakes were higher as Pete's supplier had a significant amount, nearly 4,000 kilos, to move. The potential value of the shipment was a staggering 100 million euros. Despite the lack of time for a test shipment, Pete and Mustapha proceeded with the deal. On May 15th, the shipment was successfully transported from Costa Rica to Rotterdam. Everything seemed to go according to plan, with Moose and Pete managing the operation smoothly. However, the final step encountered an unexpected obstacle. On June 1st, as the container arrived at the port of Rostam, it was unexpectedly blocked and scheduled for scanning. Despite all the preparations, the Moose was taken aback by panic and immediately alerted Pete and Neymar Jalal, connected to the cocaine shipment. The question was how this could have happened. Neymar Jalal responded, and Moose explained that there was a customs block, hoping it was just a system error. Sometime later, Moose expressed frustration as the chauffeur was turned away, leading to the realization that they were in trouble. The shipment was discovered, and the authorities seized nearly 4,000 kilos, leaving Pete to conclude that the shipment might have been compromised. Moose, however, didn't buy into the idea of a tip-off. This created friction between Moose and Pete, eroding the trust built over years of collaboration. They eventually decided to sever their business ties. This decision was strategic for Pete, as the escalating feud between Moose and Rito and Taghi was detrimental to their business prospects. The ongoing dispute showed no signs of abating. Then, on November 2, 2017, an unprecedented incident unfolded that shook the entire country. A shocking event occurred on a typical Thursday night at Café La Crème in Marrakesh, a place often frequented by Moose. Moose was sitting on the terrace, and a man named Hamza Haib sat nearby with a girl. Suddenly, two men on a motorbike with distinct dreadlocks under their helmets arrived. One approached a table, fired multiple shots at a man, injuring a woman, and fled. The chaos left Moose realizing he was the intended target, and they had mistakenly shot Hamza and the girl due to their proximity. Moose's departure from his seat just before the incident was a costly error. The Moroccan media reported that such brazen attacks were rare, highlighting the gravity of the situation. The authorities swiftly apprehended two suspects, Shard John S. and Edwin R.M., who had been under scrutiny by Moroccan security services. It was discovered that Hamza's presence near Moose, wearing a white t-shirt like Moose's, led to the mistaken identity. As the investigation continued to unfold, it became increasingly apparent that Moose found himself trapped in a dire and dangerous situation. Sensing the looming aftermath of the incident, he decided to seek refuge in Casablanca, fully cognizant of the impending repercussions that would inevitably cascade upon him. Paradoxically cast as a victim in this intricate web of events, Moose's situation took an unexpected turn as he was apprehended under the weighty charges of money laundering and smuggling. The judicial process, while acknowledging his victimhood, resulted in Moose being sentenced to a substantial 15-year term of imprisonment, accompanied by the forfeiture of his substantial assets. Significantly, a nondescript van played a pivotal role, which had served as Moose's covert vantage point for monitoring the activities of Rito and Taghi. Within the confines of this unassuming vehicle, critical pieces of evidence emerged. Fingerprints belonging to Hamza Ziani, one of the pivotal gunmen. Intriguingly, the trajectory of Hamza Ziani's criminal journey underwent a dramatic metamorphosis, culminating in his ultimate demise on Spanish soil in October of 2018. The fingerprints inside the van represented a critical juncture, encapsulating the evolution of Hamza Ziani from an inconspicuous small-time offender to a pivotal player embroiled in the intricate machinery of large-scale smuggling operations. Ultimately, Both Moose and Ridwan Taghi found themselves incarcerated within the unforgiving confines of the justice system. Although Moose's sentence held the promise of being comparatively shorter than Taghi's, it presented a glimmer of hope for eventual redemption and the potential for a future release into the world beyond prison walls. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you find the intricate operations of the criminal underworld fascinating. As the curtains drew on this complex narrative, the fates of these individuals stood as a testament to the intricate interplay of circumstance and choice, yielding outcomes that resonated far beyond the initial incident. Meanwhile, the ordeal shed light on the complexities of criminal enterprises and the unpredictable consequences of their actions. Click on the link popping up on your screen for more thrillers, and we will catch you there in a second.